folks, this is Stuart Smith from STUARTIZM Designs LLC. This is the Judgment Room from Scream Park in Lexington, Kentucky. We're going to utilize this particular room to illustrate the 4 pillars of 3D applications. And those 4 pillars are the color, detail, highlights, and of course equipment list to sit there and make your lives easier. So as you're enjoying the imagery, start to finishes, I will be giving you some instruction as to how to apply and how to utilize said information. So enjoy, and here we go. So let's start with the basics, and I'm calling this the 3 pillars of 3D. This is what you need to remember. This is what needs to be done when it comes time for creating some hot 3D action. So first pillar is the color. We're working on a black surface, and in order to make the colors stand out, we want to place white primer down on any black surface of the areas where you really want to make the eyeballs bleed of the customer. So our colors are red, green, and blue, and variations of those thereof. So we're talking variations of blue will stand differently. Purple will stand in front of red, in front of blue. Your green rather than yellow. People say, well, how are we going on with the primaries? Well, yellow has a portion of red in it and will stand further above green, closer to red, going into the oranges. So we want to sit there and avoid that, and we're going to stick with green. Now yellow comes along and works out well later on, but as far as your 3 basic colors, reds come forward, greens sit in the middle, and blues recede. Blues are considered negatives and will sit with the black. Our second pillar is the detail. We're going to be working line and shadows. If an arm's sitting in front of a torso, you're going to want to shadow that to say to the customer that yes, the arm is sitting in front, and as deep as you make the shadow will dictate how far away that arm is sitting. We can sit there and have the shadows for pustules and veins, and the things that I put in my artwork are more shadow work than line work. And then we finally have the third pillar, which is highlights. Highlights can be done with yellows or a lighter version of the color. If you're working with red, come along with some oranges. Yellows work on red as well, because there's already red in the yellow. It's not going to look so goofy with the 3D glasses. This really sits there and pops things out. You want to sit there and touch them. I'm not saying go crazy. I'm saying minimal highlights, like for instance an eye. If you want that eye to look like it's real and wet and has intent of nastiness, okay, you're going to want to sit there and place highlights in the eyes, highlights on veins, pustules, fingernails, teeth, to make them look wet and drool. That will sit there and really spark your 3D and set it above the rest. I'm not talking about dot rooms, and I'm not talking about handprints. I'm talking about some real make people poop their pants 3D. Okay, that's what we do at STUARTIZM Designs, and with your style you could do the same. Equipment wise, to make your life easier and to speed up the process, lay in your colors, both white primer and the UV paints, with a gravity feed spray gun rather than using the small airbrush. You're going to die young real quick trying to sit there and put all your colors in, and they will not have the thickness or the brilliance that you would get if you placed them in with the gravity feed spray gun. Secondly, I use Passion VL number 3. I use all Passion products. The Passion Talon's wonderful. The Millennium's wonderful. I have used the Pasha VL3, and it's been my workhorse for the last 20 years. So those are fantastic airbrushes, and learn how to use those. They're double action airbrushes. Learn trigger control and distance to give you nice shadowing versus, hair thin lines. I use Rust-Oleum flat black for the detail. There is no need for going and buying all this fancy schmancy airbrush paint. The minute they put airbrush or artist on anything, they raise the prices. For $8, I can go get myself a quart of Rust-Oleum and some mineral spirits, and I can do several projects with that one quart. And it sprays beautifully through the airbrush. It lubricates it at the same time. It works out fantastic. And then at STUARTIZM, we use Day-Glo UV paints. Fantastic product, and is the only UV paint other than some of the oil-based ones out there that will spray through the small airbrush that you can do detail with, solely with the color. You cannot spray Wildfire, Roscoe, or any of those other crappy paints through your airbrush unless there's white behind it and you thin them down real bad and your airbrush will spit and sputter. I'm using the airbrush at 60 to 70 psi, and Day-Glo will shoot directly onto a black wall and still look brilliant. So in this exercise you're seeing, I have the images that are termed hard images, and then I have images that are done straight with color as background, not only because it looks really cool that way, and we're going for image over 3D. The 3D will follow suit, don't worry about it. We're going for image. But it also gives a transitional color in the background to force your hard image forward with the 3D glasses. So that is a quick and dirty route of saying how we function in the 3D world. And you can make your images far more 3D than what you ever could see at the movies by following these steps. So watch some of the transitions in this video and see how things are applied. This is my style, and it will work just as good, if not better, in your style. And you can sit there and really create all sorts of wonderful things. And it doesn't just work for haunted houses. I do the laser tags. It works great for Christmas. It works great for birthday parties. It works great for both cartoonish images and really serious images. So it doesn't matter what you're painting. If you follow some of those standards, remember, red comes forward, green sits in the middle, blues recede, and then your detail, highlights, shadowing, you can really create some fantastic things for a slew of markets. So this is Stuart Smith, STUARTIZM Designs, telling you to, hey, look, appreciate it if you subscribe, leave some comments, questions. Also, a lot more videos are coming down the pipeline in this vein, along with the How Do Automotives and some other applications. We have a really busy year ahead of us, so it's going to give me a lot of armament for the guns to sit there and give you some hot 3D action and to talk you through it, and hopefully you'll be able to apply it in your world. Thanks a lot for watching, and God bless.